Hey everyone, I'm going to show you today some of the benefits of using asynchronous programming. I'm just going to write a short, simple program that simulates like waking two people up, one Bob and Jane. So they might take, they're going to take like a few seconds to each wake up. Bob's going to take like about 10 seconds to wake up. Jane's going to take 5 seconds. So this program will show you some of the time efficiency benefits you get with asynchronous programming. So let me kind of build out these methods here to wake up Bob and wake up Jane. So we'll start with waking up Bob. We'll just kind of write to the console, hey Bob, wake up. And then so what we're going to do is have just a thread running. Let me use the namespace here. So we'll have a thread running that sleeps for about 10 seconds. So yeah, that's 10,000 milliseconds. And then we'll write Bob's response. This is Bob. I'm now awake. So he's not going to wake up until 10 seconds after we ask him to wake up. Let's kind of do the same thing for Jane. I'll just copy that, but I'll change a couple things. So maybe Jane takes 5 seconds to wake up. And let's build up these two calls. This one here is going to be a synchronous call. So we're not going to be able to tell Jane to wake up until Bob responds. And then this will be an asynchronous call, and we'll be able to wake up Bob, and then immediately after we tell Bob to wake up, we can tell Jane to wake up. So we'll do, let's start with this one first. Let's create a stopwatch just so we can show some of the time. So we'll start our stopwatch. And we'll write out just in the console that we're saying we're starting the synchronous part of the program. Whatever you call asynchronous methods, like methods that are, so they're asynchronous methods need to have this async operator in here. The naming convention, they should always end with async at the end to tell your consumers that this is a method that can be called asynchronously. So we can use this await operator. It's basically going to wait for this to respond. And then in this startup async one, we're not going to use await. We're going to use a list of tasks, and I'll show you how you can make it purely asynchronous. So we'll await the call to wake up Bob. And await the wake up call to Jane. So it's not going to hit this line here until this line completes. Let's stop our stopwatch, and let's just write how long it took. So total synchronous time was, no, let's do elapsed seconds. So we can show how many seconds that took. Let's kind of save some time, and we'll copy this into the async call, and we're going to replace this part. So we're starting the asynchronous part of the program here. So this is where we're going to need to use a list of tasks. So we create a list of type task. And what we want to do is just add to that task collection and say run. The syntax here is a little strange to get used to. But what this is basically doing here, so let me call it Jane, is it'll go to this line immediately after it calls to this. It's not going to wait that 10 seconds for this to complete. Because with this scenario, there's no reason why we can't make the call to wake up Jane. Like, why do we have to wait 10 seconds for Bob to wake up? He's a heavy sleeper. He's lazy. So why do you have to wait till we wake up Jane for that? So we'll add this await call here. So we'll just say so when all the tasks complete. This will kind of just help us to know when to stop our stopwatch. So we stop it there, and we'll write the total asynchronous time. So this will tell us how long it took for them to both wake up for that whole process to start. And this one up here will tell how long it will take to stop it synchronously. So let's call our methods from the main. So that's the synchronous one. And let's call our asynchronous method here. And we'll just call a console read key so our console doesn't close. I think we got everything there. So let's run it. So we say, hey Bob, wake up. So this is the synchronous call. So it's waiting 10 seconds before we say, hey Jane, wake up. So there we say, Bob says he's now awake. And then immediately after we can say, hey Jane, wake up. So the total time there to wake them both up was 15 seconds. So you can see here, the asynchronous part, we say, hey Bob, wake up. And right here, like we say, hey Jane, wake up, before we even get Bob's response. So Jane actually wakes up before Bob wakes up. So the total asynchronous time is 10 seconds. So you can imagine how powerful this can be with maybe some long-running methods that you have where you don't need to wait for it to come back. A lot of times, like with a database call and you're doing business logic on that, the response you really need to wait, but there's a lot of scenarios where you might not need to wait. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Remember to like and subscribe this video to this channel if you think this was helpful, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.